Right now at 6, Oregon joins the fight to block a mega merger between two supermarket giants.
You know, Oregonians have seen the effects of grocery store consolidation before.
Plus, parents call for more transparency amidst new school cuts some say could include teachers.
Taking away librarians, taking away sports, taking away the arts, taking away everything that makes you feel alive.
However, Greene isn't the only Clark County district facing a shortfall. And later,
I just want to invite everybody down for lunch.
The new downtown pilot program aimed at boosting food trucks and foot traffic.
Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin at 6 with new efforts to block two of the largest grocery store chains in the country from becoming one and the same. Tonight, we're talking new challenges on the federal and state levels. And if you shop at stores like Fred Meyer, Safeway, or QFC, this could impact you directly. Let's bring in Blair Best live outside the Fred Meyer in Northwest Portland. Blair, it sounds like some folks say a merger would leave shoppers worse off. What are you hearing?
Well, David, really the fear here is that a merger of this size would cut down on competition between stores, which would result in rising prices, which would ultimately hurt shoppers, specifically low-income families. So today, the Oregon Attorney General filed a lawsuit to try and block this from happening. For Alicia Ragland, grocery shopping is a full-time job.
Oh, it's just mundane. I don't have to think too much about it.
She works for a delivery service and follows prices closely.
The prices are going up 20, 30, 40 cents almost every week.
She's good at finding deals. On this day, they're at Fred Meyer in Northwest Portland. However, those competitive prices Ragland relies on could be a thing of the past, as the two largest traditional grocery chains in the country, Kroger and Albertsons, are looking to merge. So what does that mean for Oregon? Well, 176 grocery stores statewide, including all Fred Meyers and Safeways, would become one company.
I just don't think it's a good idea. I think there should be competitive prices so that, we can afford food.
Oregon's Attorney General agrees. On Monday, she joined the Federal Trade Commission in filing a lawsuit to block the merger.
We believe the loss of head-to-head competition between supermarkets will have serious implications for consumers and will disproportionately harm low-income Oregonians.
We need to really think about what these prices and this kind of greed is doing for all of society.
A merger like this could also slow the growth of employees' wages or even reduce some of those wages. Working conditions and employee benefits could suffer as well.
The local union for grocery workers says that would not happen, and they support a potential merger. Here's why. Given the size, the FTC would require hundreds of stores, many of them in Oregon and Southwest Washington, to be sold to a third party. As part of the merger, a national grocery supply store has agreed to be that third party. Local union leaders say that would benefit staff.
It's better that it goes to companies that actually run grocery stores instead of massive online retailers and massive big box stores. It needs to go to people who actually run grocery stores. Everyone wants to stop the merger, but no one's saying, then what?
But that still leaves everyday shoppers with the weight of struggling to afford the basics.
I'd probably get less orders because people would not want to pay for the service.
I see as these mergers that things are just becoming tighter and tighter.
All right, Blair, these are some big court challenges, and whatever way this goes, it could impact thousands of stores nationwide. What happens next year?
So next, the FTC and the state will argue the case in the U.S. District Court right here in Oregon. And I also want to point out that they're not alone here. There are 8 other states also on this lawsuit. David?
Yeah, 8 plus Oregon. Thank you, Blair. Appreciate it. Let's get to your headlines now, starting with a hearing underway right now in Salem on a bill that would make significant changes to Measure 110. Lawmakers have been negotiating behind the scenes back and forth since the short session started, and it appears now they have come to an agreement. We're hearing public testimony right now. Here are the proposed changes. The first would recriminalize hard drugs and create a new class of misdemeanor that would allow people to avoid a criminal record by completing drug treatment. Now, if convicted, they would get probation instead of jail time. But if the probation is violated, they could be jailed for up to 6 months. That is the overview. Our Catherine Cook is at this public hearing right now. Coming up tonight at 11, we're going to have new reaction from those who support and oppose these changes. In other headlines, the driver charged with hitting and killing a cyclist over the weekend in Portland's Buckman neighborhood has made his first court appearance. 22-year-old Shane McKeever did not say anything during his hearing this afternoon, and details about the events of early Sunday morning remain a little fuzzy. Police say just before 3 a.m., McKeever hit and killed a man with a bike near Southeast Belmont and MLK. Witnesses were able to stop McKeever as he tried to run away. Investigators also say they believe someone shot at McKeever, but it's not exactly clear when that happened. His next court appearance is scheduled for early next month. The Oregon Employment Department's website will go offline starting tomorrow for system updates, with a new system set to go live next Monday. Now, keep in mind this also means the phone line for unemployment insurance will also be closed for a few days. Here are a couple key deadlines. People have until the close of business Tuesday, that's 5 p.m. to file a new unemployment claim, and until Wednesday to file a weekly claim for last week. That's the week of February 18th through the 24th. The Employment Department says if you miss those deadlines, benefits will be delayed. And a reminder this evening that winter has not quite left us in the Pacific Northwest. Yes, snow levels dropped overnight. They reached some higher elevations in the valley, with flakes falling in spots around Gresham and Sandy, from Damascus to Happy Valley. Some folks in Portland's West Hills out to Hillsborough and in the Coast Ranges also saw this wet, slushy snow, but it did not appear to be sticking around. Bit of a different story, though, up in the Cascades. So if you know a skier or boarder who was mysteriously missing from work today, this could be why. It's been snowing nonstop since about this time on Sunday. Here's the view at Timberline a little while ago as the ski day was wrapping up. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is with us tonight. So, Joe, how much snow are we talking, and is there more on the way?
Yes, to both of those. Yeah, our newsroom was a little quiet earlier today. I wonder why that is, David. But yeah, over 2 feet of snow has fallen in the last 24 hours up at Mount Hood Meadows and Timberline Lodge, and more is in the forecast tonight. Over at Mount Bachelor, you've seen 8 inches in the last 24 hours, but you just went over 100 inches for the winter so far. And yeah, we are going to be skiing well into the later part of winter, early part of spring if this keeps up. Here's a live look outside Timberline Lodge. You can barely see the lodge, and of course, the lifts out there looking south. We're going to be looking at anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of new snow overnight throughout the Oregon Cascades. So as we look at the radar right now, we're going to kind of basically be done with any measurable amount of rain the rest of your Monday night. But we still have some very cold air that's going to be funneled in through the Gulf of Alaska over the next couple of days. I don't have a daytime high above basically 45 degrees over the next few days. Again, those snow showers will continue throughout the mountains. Again, winter weather advisory throughout the Coast Range, and there's also some advisories throughout the Oregon Cascades. I'll talk more about that, and if there's a chance, we could be seeing some valley snow at all this week. That's coming up in about 10 minutes from now.
Hey, at least it's not an ice storm.
Exactly. I'll take snow any day of the week.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Joe. Now to a new multi-million-dollar lawsuit over a shooting death inside a convenience store. It has been filed against the owner of a Portland 7-Eleven and the chain itself. The shooting was in November 2022 at a 7-Eleven near Portland International Airport. Prosecutors say there was a dispute at the store, and 27-year-old Stevie Moore shot and killed 49-year-old Jason King's father. The lawsuit alleges a 7-Eleven clerk paid Moore under the table to watch over the store and bought a gun that he kept behind the counter. The lawyer for the victim's family says Moore was unqualified to be a security guard, and now they're suing for $3 million.
There's suggestions that one reason they were paying this guy was to provide some level of security, another was to give him, some food and a little money so he wouldn't steal from them. That's the picture of this dead-end place.
Moore claims self-defense. He has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and unlawful use of a weapon. Our efforts to reach the owner of this 7-Eleven location have been unsuccessful.
We deserve to know more details. We deserve to know how they are going to rectify this.
Once again, local families facing uncertainty with significant school budget cuts on the horizon. $20 million this time for Southwest Washington's Evergreen Public Schools. Thomas Schultz joins us live at district headquarters in Vancouver with those details. Thomas?
Yeah, well, David, families tell us that they're continually fed up by these budget cuts, and they're not alone. We ran into students and staff and families out here outside district offices who are protesting today. They want more diverse staff. They say these budget cuts adversely and disproportionately affect diverse staff members who may be more in those specialty positions. And students, staff, and parents are all worried that students aren't getting the education they deserve.
We cannot continue on this way.
Recently, budget cuts have hit Evergreen Public Schools hard. A couple of years ago, the district cut nearly 200 positions. Last March, $19 million was slashed from the budget. And on Tuesday, a school spokesperson says the school board is discussing another $20 million in reductions.
If our children are not the priority, then we aren't going to have the future that we need.
Camille Lohman has a kindergartner at York Elementary. She says it's still unclear what exactly will be cut.
If we, as parents, don't know the specifics of what is going to be cut, how do we know how we're going to support our children?
Though she and another parent, Angie Bunda, says they've heard the potential cuts would affect a few core components of school.
Taking away librarians, taking away sports, taking away the arts, taking away everything that makes you feel alive.
Bunda says security personnel at middle schools could also be impacted.
And when we take away everything that inspires our kids, how are they going to do their best or do their best effort to succeed?
In a statement, a paraeducator who preferred to stay anonymous told us there's a hiring freeze for paraeducators. She says budget cuts are starting at the bottom. In a statement, an Evergreen Public School spokesperson says they can't speak to specific cuts before the initial budget reduction recommendations are given on Tuesday, but did say supervisors spoke to those impacted last week. Some will see roles changed. Other jobs will be cut.
We're just going to be left with a bunch of burnt out teachers who love their job and love the students, but don't have the resources or the time or the energy that our children deserve.
And Evergreen isn't alone in budget cuts. Vancouver Public Schools also plans to reduce its budget. And in Washougal, the school district has a $3 million shortfall. And recently, the superintendent announced she'll slash her own salary. Still, in Evergreen, parents are growing more and more concerned about their kids' future.
They deserve a future that is equitable. They deserve a school environment that is fully staffed.
And I mean, completely understandable. Parents want something that's fully staffed, and the staff members we spoke to today also want rooms that are in classrooms that are diverse with staff. Now, it's not known yet exactly what positions are going to be cut. That's going to be found out Tuesday night after the board meeting. Now, these cuts, also important to note, are not going to impact students this year. It's going to be for the 24-25 school year. David?
An important distinction there. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it.